dual celebrations in Enga. Exercise Paradise 2018 opens at Lancron Naval Base, and 32 of RPNGC'S finest awarded medals for service.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Monday's news. Delegations from the Australian High Commission, multinational companies and international tourists gathered in Wabeg town over the weekend for a dual celebration. The weekend was well spent with the opening of a new art gallery and the 23rd Enga Cultural Show. Enga Governor Sepita Ipatas told visitors the province is starting to tap into culture and tourism business for development.
Over 50 cultural groups in Enga province and neighboring provinces came together at Aipus Oval outside Wabeg town to celebrate Enga province's 23rd cultural show. The annual show unites the people of Enga province. This is where cultural groups display a tiny bit of their culture in song and dance.
Now time you look in Australian government, PNG Power, all Narbla, all partners who come inside, all visitors who come. As part of
the event, the Australian government, through the Australian High Commission in PNG, co-hosted the Sand and Bark Art exhibition with PNG Power Limited. Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davies and PNG Power Limited Acting Managing Director Caroline Blacklock officially opened the Sand and Bark Art Gallery on Saturday. The gallery has the sand paintings and textile designs of Enga province and the bark and dot paintings of the Australians' indigenous people, the Aboriginal art.
History are extraordinarily important to any people, and I've learnt more about that very, very strong bond between culture and people from the time I've spent in locations like this.
Enga province is diverse, but it has one common language. PNG Power supported Enga's vision to preserve culture so that Engan children can learn to preserve and appreciate their cultural values.
They don't just have a bunch of politicians who want to cut ribbons, no offence, Governor, but we have we have people here who want to get stuff done. And I think that's really important to have. Other provinces don't always have that.
Over 1,000 participants and another 1,000 more spectators filled the Aipus Rugby League oval to capacity over the weekend. Sir Peter Ipatas told his people to change their mindsets and be united for investments and development to take place. Fasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
And the Australian High Commissioner to PNG, Bruce Davis, is in Enga province for a 6-day visit. Mr. Davis is in the province upon the request of Enga Governor Sepita Ipatas. His visit started on Saturday and will end on Thursday this week.
The Australian High Commissioner opened the Sand and Bark Art Gallery, visited Soppers Hospital, Enga College of Nursing and Health Centre at Hambum District. The projects that he opened were co-funded by the Australian government. Mr. Davis also opened Monocam Community Health Post in Combiem Ambum Electorate, one of the 4 CHPs in the province. The health post is jointly funded by the national government, Australian government and Asian Development Bank.
This will be a great addition to the services for all the people of this locality, but I think perhaps particularly for many of the women.
The High Commissioner took up the post in PNG 2.5 years ago. Enga was the first province he visited upon request by Enga Governor. Sir Peter Ipatas had told Mr. Davis that Enga has missed out on basic services it should receive when Enga was still a district of Western Highlands Province. This has prompted the Australian High Commissioner to make promise to support Enga's development in health, education and culture.
Children from Australia, children from Papua New Guinea come together. That's going to be very, very important. We are neighbours. We will always be neighbours.
One of the partners in the Monocam project is Jacob Luke, the owner of Mapai Transport. He used his own money to build road, water supply and electricity to the Monocam area. Mr. Luke said he funded the projects because the country's geographical setting is a challenge for development to reach little people.
We'd like to thank the people that have facilitated this. Firstly, our elected member of the parliament that has initiated it, and that took it to the Department of Works, not Works, it's the Health Department.
Fascinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Exercise Paradise 2018 officially opened today at the Lancron Naval Base in Konidobu. The two-week training will be based on maritime security operations for the upcoming APEC Leaders Summit. The training will be headed by the PNG Defence Force with support from the Royal Australian Navy.
Exercise Paradise 2018, or PD18's main aim is to support the PNG Water Police in ensuring a safe and secured maritime by 1st November. Maritime Operations Director, Commander Willie Galea, said that approximately 150 personnel will take part in the exercise.
The overall, in the overall exercise, we are looking at about 70 plus the Australian boats have about 60, 130, and also we got the water police guys coming in. So probably looking at about 150 people at any one time involved in this exercise. Yeah.
The exercise over the years has changed to adapt to the different standards. Commander Galea said that the 2018 exercise has heightened because of APEC.
Okay, the aim of this exercise is basically to prepare the maritime element for the maritime security operations that we are expected to conduct come the Leaders Week in November. Yeah. Over the years, the focus of the exercise then was getting into what we call interoperability, that is understanding each other, how we operate out at sea. That's what been the focus of Paradise over the years. But since 2016, when the government made it known that we're going to conduct the APEC, we've changed the focus of our exercise into a maritime security type of operations that is basically operating within the harbour, providing that security operations on water. Yeah. So that started 2016, 17, and now into the third year, and probably this will be just finally just for APEC, and we post APEC we'll revert back to our traditional exercises. Yeah.
Commander Galea also said that this was the main training, and if there were shortcomings after that, they will craft up training programs until APEC. Michelle Stephen, National EMTV News.
The Supreme Court has rejected an appeal by a rival candidate for the Yangaru Sausia open seat against elected member Richard Maro. Peter Waranaka, who came second in the 2017 elections, filed an election petition against Maro on 3 grounds, one being bribery. Lawyer representing Maro, Paul Mawa, explained the case had been dismissed to the petition having no merit. An appeal was filed by Waranaka in June. However, this was dismissed by the Supreme Court today.
In a press conference today, Paul Mawa explained the election petition against Maru was dismissed by Justice Ambeng Kandakasi on 31st May 2018. Mr. Waranaka, however, did not agree on the decision, filed an application for leave for review on 13th June 2018. The application for leave was also refused by the Supreme Court. Mr. Mawa said there is no election petition against Maru as the courts have dismissed all petition against Maru.
So I argued on the 7th of August 2017 this year, and this morning, 13th of August, His Honor Justice Hudson dismissed the entire application for leave to review, agreeing with the submissions we made before His Honor. So the effect of that decision basically is that the appeal or the application for leave to review that was filed by Peter Wararu is no longer in existence. It's dismissed in its entirety. It cannot go to any other court and challenge this decision again. It's the final and stand of the matter.
Richard Maru, satisfied with the Supreme Court's decision, said he is now relieved of this burden and can concentrate on service delivery in his electorate.
He cannot appeal the case anymore. It's over, and I am free now, and I will be able to concentrate my attention on my job as National Planning Minister and also as member for Yangaru Sausia, and I can now focus on delivering goods and services to my people in the district and, of course, throughout the nation.
Rayon Lakingu, National EMTV News.
National Planning Minister Richard Murrow also announced the launching of the third medium-term development plan, which will take place on the 30th of this month. He said the plan aims to improve the economy and will be presented to Cabinet for approval prior to its launching.
The medium-term development plan number 3 is finished. It's going to Cabinet this week. And we are planning that on Thursday, the 30th of this month, we will launch the Prime Minister will launch the medium-term development plan number 3, the government's 5-year development plan to the nation. I am really excited. We've worked very hard on the plan. We've consulted widely, and I really look forward to a good discussion with my colleagues in Cabinet, and we look forward to the launch of the plan on Thursday. The new medium-term development plan is, let's engage all our youth, let's engage our people, let's open up economic zones, let's build the key enabling roads, let's put in the cocoa nurseries, let's provide a coffee seedlings, let's look at how do we engage everyone so we can start to build the economy and generate revenue, which we then will need to then service the needs of our growing population. So that's the gist of the plan. Obviously, until the Cabinet approves the plan, I cannot speak a lot more about the plan, but what I can say is our focus these 5 years is replace the imports that we need to replace, focus on exports, let's get a few of the mining projects and the LNG projects off, let's build a bigger and stronger economy so we can generate more revenue and be able to meet the huge demand for services.
32 Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary officers were awarded medals for their services in the Regional Assistance Mission to the Solomon Islands. The Royal Solomon Islands Police Force's International Law Enforcement Cooperation Medal was awarded to the men and women who served in the Ramsey exercise from the years 2003 to 2007. The medals were presented by RPNGC Deputy Commissioner Operations, Deputy Commissioner Jim Andrews.
32 Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary officers were awarded medals for their service in the Regional Assistance Mission to the Solomon Islands. RPNGC Deputy Commissioner Operations Jim Andrews said it was with the permission of the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force that the International Law Enforcement Cooperation medals were awarded to the international police forces. He added officers, men and women, provided direct support to the RSIPF, assisting in law enforcement initiatives between 2003 and 2017, alongside soldiers and policemen from New Zealand, Australia, Cook Islands, Fiji, Kiribati, Nauru, Samoa, Tonga, and Vanuatu.
When Solomon Islands law and order situation broke down, as a result, Australia, New Zealand, and the rest of the Pacific Island countries involved in the Ramsey duties. And as a result, the law and order situation has returned back to normal. The Ramsey operation ceased in June 2017, last year.
The officers performed peacekeeping duties and were based out of Honiara, each of the 32 officers working a minimum of 180 days within the 15 years of the Ramsey exercise.
The Solomon Islands government recognized their work there. As a result, the government approved the award of the medals from the Solomon Island government.
Commissioner Andrews said apart from the Ramsey mission, PNG are in talks with the United Nations for future peacekeeping missions abroad.
We are working closely on the overseas missions with the UN and all that. It's still under planning. So when it comes, then we will participate in the UN mission, peacekeeping.
Fidelis Sukina, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We go for our first break, but we'll have more of the day's stories when we return. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. For close to 2 weeks, Taro town has been experiencing power failures that are affecting business houses, SMEs and government services on the island. Town Mayor Samuel Wingu says the reason for the power blackouts is unknown and he is calling on PNG Power to fix the problem or explain why the town is experiencing consistent power failures.
Poor interruptions on the island have caused an inconvenience to schools, hospitals, business houses and government departments using electricity to operate. The island, powered by 2 diesel generators, have deteriorated over the years and is in dire need of maintenance or even replacement. Taro Town Mayor Samuel Wingu says the power blackout has stopped the flow of services on the island and PNG Power Management in Port Moresby must fix it.
PNG Power, as we are all aware, I think the management of PNG Power from Port Moresby, I do not blame the management here in Taro. They're just taking care of what is on the ground. But the generators that have been running and supplying electricity for Taro town are all aging. Actually, where there were 2 generators operating, one stopped working years back, and the only one that was operating but 1 or 2 weeks ago, it went dead. So that is the result. As you are here with us, you have experienced that we've been without power for more than a week.
He says major sectors on the island such as health and education need electricity to conduct daily operations. Meanwhile, PNG Power workers on the ground are doing what they can to maintain power in Taro.
PNG Power to also come in and relook at the supplies of electricity in Taro town. I think the generators have outlived their prime. They need to be replaced, and because we have a lot of people migrating to the town and business houses and schools and hospitals using a lot of power, the power generation here also need to be boosted and in order for it to be boosted, I think we need to have the some of the generators replaced, and that would give us a good supply of power uninterrupted.
Wingu says not only is the town experiencing power failures, but water issues on the island have also been a major challenge, since the underground pipes that supplied water from the mainland are also rusted and unable to keep the flow of water pressure. He is calling on responsible government agencies to take action in solving these matters. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
After close to 43 years of independence, the people of Joseph Stalin, Middle Ramu district of Medang province, are still waiting for basic government services. The only 2 services found at the station are health and education. Joseph Stal Primary School is operated under the Catholic Education Agency. Locals in the area say they've had enough of complaining for much needed services.
Joseph Stal is a remote station in Medang province. People from this part of the province walk for days to get to town to access government services. It takes almost 7 hours to reach the station from Medang, a tiring journey, but it is the only way for the locals seeking basic medical help. Here at the station, the only 2 services visible is Joseph Stal Primary School and the health center.
He no got cap, he no got president, he no got one public servant lawyer. The only public servant by you look at him how sick na school tas, na church mi blagat pater stap. All narapla mi blan no save lo. All public servant, kisi walk lo Joseph Stal na all blo Medang.
Services semi tok pini semi blagat tu plata sol, health na education em tasol apart from other services.
Willie Yatukru is a former headmaster at Joseph Stal Primary School. He says for too long his people have been neglected. He said they need a good road system so they can be able to travel to and from Madang town.
He must got this partnership na melo government want them company. Na at least fund him company lo make him walk below road na. Mipla still can use him this pla road. Or suppose behind company finish now go. You know got nara pla way. Government must look this pla road na maintaining this pla road by Mipla still he can use him. Otherwise Mipla by just no way. By cut off all get all services.
The only government workers stationed there are 11 primary school teachers and health officials.
Plenty asking me, give him law government, long all some broke down, long all services, law place, below me, especially road. Now me got Barap, lo Guam, Jostal, Bogia, and Medang road, yeah. Me no more use him now. Now me use him this company road. Go come, good plan, me must push him car, one time load, he go, come back. A strip and finish all get now pick walk him house long him. Me talk lo kind all get a kind means long delivery long all services. He go now said by Harry Mipla. Even our elected leaders. Na Mipla just give up, na Mipla like stop. Na Mipla no like him, government lo come interfere. Larry Mipla stop lo like blow Mipla yet. Suppose some government blow Mipla people, okay. And by Lulu blow Mipla. Suppose no blow Mipla. Larry Mipla start lo like blow Mipla.
Government you know what looks away. Government come karai Mipla give him power long and emi gonna lose thing lo Mipla. Look I know so Mipla need him road condition. Mipla need him police, lo security blow Mipla. Mipla no got this bla.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
The management of Ramuniko in Madang province say the company exercises safety management in accordance with mining industry standards. This is in response to an accident on the 30th of July where 7 of its workers sustained injuries.
Require further treatment. The incident was reported as, according to the Mining Safety Act, to the Mines Inspectorate. And the Mines Inspectorate will conduct their own independent investigation into the accident. And when they do conduct the investigation, they will issue orders that they deem necessary to stop any such incidents from happening, and we will comply with those orders. But since the Mines Inspectorate has taken control of this investigation, we cannot speak on their behalf on this matter until their investigation is completed. Yeah. However, in terms of our response to the accident and or the incident, we responded in a very timely and professional manner. And our commitment to the injured persons has remained always our priority and is remaining as of now. Our people comes first, and that is shown by our response, and we will do everything in our part to reduce any further incident.
To Eastern Britain Province now, and students at the PNG University of Natural Resources and Environment have continued their sit-in protest following the resignation of Professor John Warren last week. Student leaders petitioned the University Council demanding an explanation shortly after Professor Warren tendered his resignation. Professor Warren submitted his resignation on medical grounds. The office of the SRC today released a media statement claiming Professor Warren's resignation was prompted by a threat issued to him by council members and not on medical grounds. The student leaders are calling on the council to justify Professor Warren's resignation. Meanwhile, student leaders have also petitioned the University Council questioning the appointment of Dr. James Yoko as the acting Vice-Chancellor. Professor Warren's appointment as the Vice-Chancellor of UNRE in 2016 was seen as a relief for the university after continuous allegations of corruption and ill management. His resignation last week, however, has sent a wave of dissatisfaction across the entire student body. Presenting different opportunities to students is important for their career development. This was the main message delivered today during the launch of the week-long 2018 Career Expo in Port Moresby.
With the theme Information is Power, the Expo is aimed at providing grade 12s the right information for opportunities after high school. During the official launch this morning, guest speaker Grace Wakana says it is important that students are well informed of the many opportunities available.
At this stage, our kids, they want to go out into the world out there, but they actually have no idea what they want to do. So it is important that we bring this kind of expose to them, and we expose the opportunities that are out there in the world today.
For the students, the Expo was also an opportunity to gather first-hand information from the different institutions.
It's like a one-on-one interview with the teachers in charge of the institutions. So the tertiary institutions is much more better than teachers in our schools to tell us.
For teachers, they believe the Expo will put their students in a better position to make the right choices after their final exams.
Most secondary schools, we don't have proper guidance teachers that can provide such guidelines and give information regarding tertiary institutions and entry requirements. And we lack such information that must be brought to the students in secondary schools. In that way, there are some consequences that students may have in their making decisions when it comes to filling SLF forms.
The week-long event will end this Friday.
So it's important that our students are well informed about the different courses that are run by the different institutions, not only the universities, but all the other private institutions that are offering courses for our grade 12 leavers and also the non-school leavers as well. So that's basically our objective is to get our students to be well informed with the information that is offered by the different institutions so that they can make their choices and be able to be selected for the choices that they apply for in the various institutions.
Stanley Over Jr., National MTV News.
Local level government elections have been moved to next year. However, in NCD, the Motukoitabu elections will go ahead later this month. Taro Moria, the ward councillor for Vabukori village in the Moresby South electorate, is calling on the Electoral Commission to carry out awareness in Motukoitabu villages. He said there are rumours of women of non-Motukoitabu descent who are married into the society not being allowed to vote in the upcoming elections. He is therefore seeking clarification on this matter.
The information that is being circulated is that women of non-Motukoita descent but married to Motukoitabuans will not be allowed to vote in this election. There are conflicting information and we are confused, and we fear that if this is not clarified by polling day, it will be too late, and that confusion can cause disruption and chaos on polling day for the Motukoita Assembly. So if we can find out, or we can tell the Motukoita voting population whether the women can vote, those who are married to Motukoitabuans or not, and if they are allowed to vote, I would welcome that, because that's been the practice in the 2016 by-election, which put me into office, and also the Motukoita Assembly general elections held in 2013, where Motukoita women of non-Motukoita descent were allowed to vote. So if they allow it this time around, I'd welcome that. But if they say that non-Motukoita women are not allowed to vote, then I would totally disagree with that, because then we are contradicting ourselves. We allowed them to vote in 2013, we allowed them to vote in my by-election in 2016, but in 2018 we're disallowing them. Now if there is a reason for that, as the Councillor for Vabukori and as a member of the Motukoitabu Assembly, I would like to know who gave that directive. Whose decision was it that this law be introduced, if that's the case? Because
Close to 1,200 students of Ganton Primary School in Leh will miss out on lessons if the school continues its closure this week. The school was closed by the Leh City Council Health Division for an indefinite period due to unfit sanitary facilities. Leh District Education Manager Kao Malaga has called on the City Council Health Division to consult and allow classes to resume, especially for the grade 8s.
The students are taught 7 lessons a day since Ganton Primary School was closed by Leh City Council Health Division on Monday last week. The students from grade 3 to 8 missed out on 49 lessons. If the closure continues next week, the students will be missing out on 147 lessons for 3 weeks. Meanwhile, the grade 8 students have 6 weeks before they sit for their final examinations.
Starting the second week of the suspension. So I suggest that the health people can come to us so that we can discuss ways, some strategies, ways so that we can come with alternatives that classes can resume somehow, especially grade 8. When 2 or 3 toilets that are completed, then grade 8 should come back to classes immediately.
The school's water supply bill was cut in 2009 and more than 1,800 students have been using pit toilets. The school has an outstanding bill of 3,000 kina. In November this year, Water PNG removed their water meter. The Leh City Council Health Division ordered the school to close due to unfit sanitary facilities.
We acted upon the Public Health Act, Chapter 226, which clearly states about the sanitary facilities. And because Ganton Primary School doesn't have the toilets in use at the moment, under the Public Health Act, we advise the parents and the school board of management that the school is closed until they come together and act responsibly.
The construction of 10 new pit toilets is underway. This is done by community members residing at West Taraka, where the school is located. The school said teacher Martina Tanialu said the school is struggling financially to complete the requirements before classes resume. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Here with Monday's news, we go for a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some stories making headlines overseas. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Jiwaka Union students of the University of Papua New Guinea launched their Provincial Day program with a coffee night involving some of the elites of the province. The students are promoting the theme of putting God first in an effort to bring the people of Jiwaka together for the Provincial Day celebrations.
The Jiwaka Students' Union of the University of Papua New Guinea launched their Provincial Day program on Saturday.
I now officially open Jiwaka Provincial Day on the 1st of September.
The launching was part of the coffee night where elites from Jiwaka were invited. President Peter Barry said the Provincial Day, which will be on the 1st of September, was for students to showcase their culture and cooperation and to prove as well that Jiwaka can work as one province.
Beginning of semester 2, we want to host Cultural Day. We want to show the other provinces and we want to show the rest of PNC that Jiwaka, we are capable and we are fit to take our own province and we are fit to become a province and we are capable of competing and we can produce some of the best, we can show our culture, we have what it takes to become a province.
Barry said the step the students took forward to ensure the success of the day and to unite the Jiwaka people was to put God first. A direction which Barry said had the support of the student union.
The Jiwaka students here of 2018, UPNG Jiwaka students, the one thing we believe that will bring 2 chains and the one thing we believe that will bring unity to the Jiwaka people is God, is the word of God. That is why that is the theme that we have been promoting for the last few months ago. We believe that all the other things we're talking about, the politics or whatever thing, it will bring division among ourselves and it will destroy our province. But if the Jiwaka province can put God first, that is the foundation to everything, and that is the thing that we Jiwaka are promoting.
Simon Kaiwi, who is a prominent Juwaka leader, told the students and fellow elites at the launching that Juwaka people are friendly people and need to cooperate. He added that the students had the obligation to inform their families back home in Juwaka of what the best practices are as a province.
You have the privilege to be here, and I think it's good that you start now. As you make some foods out of things, go back, share it, and things are understanding online, so they must know what is right and what is wrong.
Union patron Pastor Alan Hounje stressed the importance of valuing culture, saying that it took time and effort to bring out the uniqueness in their culture.
Our culture is not something where you can easily go to kadung balik diwai or kadung balik pokonas na taitim let na tokosen naomi bilas na kam no. Our identity, our custom of way to bilas is very, very expensive. Therefore, you are a very expensive person you should not tonight. Minimum of culture for you.
Fideli Sukina, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas, the families of school children killed in an airstrike on a bus in Yemen are preparing to bury their dead as the UN urges an independent investigation be carried out. The Saudi-led coalition defended the attack, saying it was aimed at those responsible for training child soldiers. At least 40 children were killed, with dozens more injured. A warning, this story contains some distressing images.
This is the moment a father identifies his son among the dead. And this is a boy crying out for his father and mother, one of the survivors of Thursday's airstrike. Thank God I'm alive, says Hafez Ali, but some of my friends and my teacher died. Hussein says they'd stopped to buy water when they were attacked. The UN Children's Fund called the attack unconscionable, a low point in Yemen's brutal war. It says its calls for humanitarian law to be respected, for children to be protected, have been met with utter disregard. The Saudi-led coalition, which buys arms from Britain and the US, has defended the airstrike. Saudi Arabia says it was a legitimate military action, targeting Houthi leaders involved in recruiting children to fight. It says it'll investigate. The UN Security Council says a credible investigation is needed into what happened here. A Houthi-affiliated television station said the children had been visiting a cemetery to see the graves of other Houthis killed in Yemen's war. These pictures were filmed by one of the victims of the attack. Zaid Tayyab lost 3 children in the airstrike, Ahmed, Yusuf and Ali.
They were very happy. Even from the night before, they were all very excited, preparing for the trip. They wanted to take their smartphones with them to take photos. They were so excited, they couldn't get to sleep.
Here is where they'll now be laid to rest. Children calmly digging graves for children. In Yemen, death has become part of the fabric of life. But amid the horror of Yemen's conflict, this attack stands out. The UN hopes it could be a turning point, a catalyst to end the war.
Here with National EMTV News, we go for a break now. When we come back, we take a look at some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with Rugby League, and the SPPNG Hunters defeated the Tweedhead Seagulls 22-18 in their round 22 clash. With the win, the Hunters still remain on 6th place on the Interest Super Cup ladder.
The Hunters have had 5 wins so far and sit on 6th spot on the ISC ladder. Though they had a slow start to yesterday's match, Coach Michael Marom commended the team for another great win.
Yesterday's performance, we got off to a slow start. Tweed put on 10 points early in the match, and then we came back just before half time, and then towards the end we just didn't complete a few of our sets, and they nearly caught us with the scoreline there. But overall, I think we defended well again, so yeah.
Although it was a tough match, Marom confirmed There are no injury concerns or sightings.
Now Watson pulled up okay. We got another medical and we got training tomorrow, so I can't see anyone missing out for this weekend unless they get something illness midweek. Yeah, we got no player placed on report, so which is good. We need all our players to be in training and contention for the selection for this weekend's game.
A few players stood out at yesterday's match, the most notable being halfback Watson Boas.
Watson probably had a good game despite he didn't train 2-3 days. We gave him the time off due to his injury from the previous weekend. Enoch Maki, Easton Albert, the forwards probably didn't start off well, but after we had a good word with them, half time went back out and played well. Alex Vera had a good game. So Dilbert Isaac from the bench, I thought he was okay until, but otherwise I think everyone played their role in there, so yeah.
They take on the winner Manly Seagulls this weekend at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Marum says they will work on errors picked up from yesterday's match before their round 23 clash.
And some of our kicks just resulted in 7 tackle restarts, so that's just one thing I have to be I'll have to speak to the halves, Ukas, about it. So make sure we just get smart about finishing off a good sets. Yeah.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Nominations for this year's BSP PNG National Snooker titles for men and women are now open. Interested players have been urged to nominate and register as soon as possible.
The women's nominations and registration is 150 kina and closes on the 27th of August, while the men's closes a week after. Matches are expected to start on the 3rd of September after all entries are received and the women are registered. About 40 women are expected to compete in this year's tournament, with the interest building amongst women. Player registration for the men closes on the 3rd of September with a 200 kina registration fee. 40 players are also expected to take part in the competition. The men's competition will kick off on the 10th of September. PNG BSA Acting President John Chen also encouraged junior players to register and compete this year. Chen said all nominations must be submitted on the official PNG BSA forms and are available from the Lamana Q Club. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere. Trukai Sports continues with more after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The resource-rich township of Kiunga in the North Fly district is struggling to deliver sporting services to its up-and-coming athletes. Youth in Kiunga are using the same field and courts to play rugby, soccer, basketball and volleyball. Godwin Eke reports.
The only sports field in Kiunga town is the only field used by rugby league associations, together with football that shares the same field on separate days to play their games. With rugby league being played on Saturday, soccer is played on Sunday. One of the many challenges on the ground is that the field is made up of gravel that's brought from the Alice River, into which mine waste is disposed. The only available stage for the officials was recently built and is used to house events that occur on the field. The field has no benches or sitting areas for spectators to watch and enjoy the games. Basketball and volleyball also have a similar story, both using one court to play. With so much raw talents on the ground, not much is done to expose, let alone identify potential future representatives. Youth on the ground say they need more options when it comes to sports and venue, which is a major challenge and one which makes it difficult to try out other sporting codes. Over the years, youths in the province have been deprived of their right to attend national events, all because of the lack of support from their provincial heads. Using sports as a tool for change and development, sports representatives in the province are calling for Sports Minister to visit the province and help them. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To athletics now, and PNG middle distance runner Tuna Tine left the country on Sunday for the US, where she will join her teammates and friend Esther Boram at the New Mexico Military Institute in the city of Roswell. Tine, who completed Year 12 at the EOG Christian Academy in Leh last year, has a full scholarship to run across country for the New Mexico Military Institute in the National Junior College program. Athletics PNG President Tony Green says the 21-year-old already has a lot of international experience. Green says her humble nature makes her a great role model to younger athletes, and she deserves this opportunity. Tine is expected to arrive in Roswell this afternoon, local time, which will be Tuesday morning, PNG time. And that's it for Trukai Sports. We go for another break. When we come back, the weather details for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. A chance of rain in Popondetta, mostly fine for the rest of the southern region. To the Momasa region, partly cloudy all throughout with a few rain and drizzles expected in Madang. To the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine except for showers expected in Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. And in the Highlands region, rain and morning fog expected for Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa. Cloudy with morning fog expected as well for Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's a news, sport and weather for today, Monday the 13th of August 2018. On behalf of the entire MTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.